Minus 69 hits. And your neighbors stop saying good morning and start thinking, how many calories is this guy worth? Food gone. Heat gone. Humanity also gone. Han Fong tried being nice, save his crush, let her in, and got hit with the cleanest betrayal combo ever. Sweet talk, fake love, and her boyfriend walks in and ends him for his supplies. Run 1, he got looted. Run 2, he wakes up before the freeze. Same people, same trap, but this time, bro comes back prepared and broken. He can multiply food like his creative mode, and before the apocalypse even starts, he stacks everything else: fuel, heat, weapons, supplies. So while everyone else is outside freezing and fighting over scraps, Han Fong is inside, endless food, stock base, warm, safe, living like it's not even the apocalypse. Back to the early arc. Suddenly someone starts yelling our boy's name. Han Fong walks to the door, shivering, checks through the peephole, and it's Hwana, his crush, barely able to stand in the cold. Man doesn't even hesitate. Opens the door and pulls her inside. Next second she jumps him and kisses him. No warning, no build-up, straight attack. Han Fong is stunned, brain completely offline. Because yeah, this is his crush. She keeps going, putting full effort into it, and he's just standing there like, what just happened? Then she confesses, says she always loved him, says after going through the apocalypse she realized he's someone who truly cares about people. And she doesn't stop there, grabs his hand, makes him feel her heartbeat, tells him she's ready to do anything with him, straight emotional physical combo, textbook setup, and our boy, yeah, he's falling for it. While he's busy imagining his life finally turn around, she presses even harder, literally rubbing her thigh between his legs, pushing him deeper into that trap. Now he's completely off balance emotionally, but even then he still tries to hold himself back, saying she means a lot to him. But this isn't the right situation for something like this. Bro tried, but Wana's not done. She tells him to close his eyes and just enjoy the moment. He listens, closes his eyes like an innocent kid about to receive happiness the first time. And then boom, first kiss turns into first death. Her boyfriend comes in and smashes his skull. No hesitation, no drama, just straight execution. Han Fong drops, blood everywhere, body twitching, and Hwana shocked, but not because she feels bad, just because she didn't expect it to be that brutal. Her boyfriend shuts that down immediately, no excuses in this world. Kindness is just loot waiting to be claimed, and that's exactly what they do. They celebrate finding his supplies. Meanwhile, Han Fong is lying there, drowning in his own blood, unable to move, watching the two of them enjoy the outcome. That's his final view, betrayal fully delivered. So in that last moment, he makes it clear if he ever gets another chance. He's done being someone else's tool. No more nice guy. No more getting played. His consciousness fades. Darkness takes over. Then suddenly a warm light appears, pulling him in. For a second he thinks it's heaven. But nah, not that easy. His entire being gets torn apart in pain, like his soul is getting shredded piece by piece. Then he wakes up in his bed, sweating, breathing, alive, and immediately confused because a second ago he was dying. Now everything's normal. The world looks fine, no apocalypse. Sunlight feels warm, real warm, the kind he thought he'd never feel again. He waits, checks again, still normal. Then he looks at the calendar, June 28th, and that's when it clicks. The apocalypse is supposed to start on July 15th, meaning this isn't luck, this is regression. He's back, weeks before everything goes to hell. Same world, same timeline. But this time he knows exactly what's coming. Han Fong wakes up, and his face immediately shows that mix of shock, confusion, and what the hell just happened? Because yeah, bro just died, and now he's back, like nothing happened, but something's clearly off this time. His hand specifically won't stop glowing red. Not hurting, not burning, just glowing like it paid the electricity bill. He tries to shake it off, wave it around, nothing changes. The feeling is warm, almost comfortable, which somehow makes it even weirder. At first he thinks maybe his brain is still glitching from dying, but then out of nowhere he sneezes, and boom, the same hand switches from red to bright green. Now the confusion levels go up instantly, because this isn't just a visual change. The energy feels different, and worse, he can't control it. The glow suddenly expands, gets stronger, and he's just standing there panicking like, yo, chill. Except it's not chilling, then just as randomly as it grew, it starts shrinking back down. But unlike the red glow, this green one clearly behaves different, unstable, unpredictable. He drops down to sit, and that's when it hits him. His body feels drained, like someone just pulled the battery out of him. So yeah, green glow equals energy gone. That part is not fun. Frustrated, he waves his hand again, trying to figure out, and suddenly it clicks in his head. This is exactly like those power fantasy stories he reads. Reborn MC, weird ability, probably broken as hell. At least that's what he hopes. So naturally, genius move. He grabs a knife to test it, and nothing happens, no reaction, no glow interaction. Just him standing there looking dumb with a knife like it's gonna unlock DLC. And to make it worse, his stomach starts growling because of that energy drain earlier. So now he's not only confused, he's hungry too. He checks the fridge empty. Completely empty. Great. Bro came back from death just a star faster. Situation's getting worse. So he needs anything edible before he passes out again. Then he spots a jar of roasted soybeans. Not fancy, not exciting, but food is food. He grabs one, pops it in his mouth, and instantly the thing explodes into a full bean plant. Just like that. No delay, no warning, and at the same time, the green glow disappears, and his exhaustion is gone. Full reset. Now he's staring at it like, okay, now we're talking. He grabs one of the sprouts, checks it properly, and realizes, yeah, this is his ability, not theory anymore. This is real food multiplication or growth, or whatever this is, definitely broken if used right. He wants to study it more, obviously, but priorities first. He almost passed out once already, so step one is securing supplies before the apocalypse hits again. Straight to the supermarket. Next scene. He's moving through a busy crowd. Normal people doing normal things, completely unaware that their world is about to freeze into hell. Meanwhile, Han Fong is walking through all of it with a brain full of calculations. 2 types of glowing hands. Red stable, green unstable with energy drain. And the key moment was when the green glow touched the soybean and turned it into something usable. That's the pattern. But he still doesn't fully get the mechanics, and that annoys him while he's thinking. Someone calls out to him, of course it's her. Hyona. Same face, same voice, same person who got him killed. Still looks beautiful. Seeing her again hits him because this isn't just a crush anymore. This is a person who set him up and watched him die. Quick reminder, he chased this girl for 3 whole years, tried everything, played nice guy to the maximum, and deep down he already knew he was just backup material at best. Now add betrayal and murder on. Top of that, yeah, anger spikes instantly, but he doesn't explode, he holds it in, because going crazy now would just ruin everything. He calms himself down, locks that rage away for later, because revenge is not something you rush like an idiot. Right now, survival first. Hyona notices him spacing out, waves her hand, try to get his attention, acting all concerned like nothing ever happened. He snaps back, keeps it polite, even compliments her looks. Smooth, controlled, nothing extra. She plays along, calls him a smooth talker, and immediately tries to pull him into going shopping together, thinking she still has him wrapped. But this time, nah. Han Fong just walks past her, no hesitation, no second thought, treats her like background NPC. And that hits her harder than anything, because she wasn't expecting rejection from the same guy who used to orbit around her. Reality check delivered, clean and silent. Han Fong already sees through Huang completely. No confusion this time. No, maybe she's different. Nothing like that. He knows she's only being nice because she wants a walking wallet. And yeah, that script already got him killed once. He's not signing up for round 2. So he cuts it off mentally right there and moves on. Because bigger things are coming, his target is the Waldemar Shopping Plaza, the richest supermarket in the area, the kind of place that had everything stacked to the ceiling. And in his previous life, the second the Arctic apocalypse started, this entire place got wiped clean in one night, like a speedrun loot mission. Nobody even knows who did it, just gone. So this time he's not being late to party. He's here early to take everything he can. Man's got a full survival list ready. Food, winter clothes, medicine, fuel, daily necessities. The whole I refuse to die again starter pack. Only problem, bro is broke. Like actually broke, big plans, zero funds. Classic situation. He's standing there thinking how to fix this when suddenly he gets a notification saying he's eligible for a $170,000 loan. And right there, his brain flips from survival mode to big brain mode. Because let's be honest, who's repaying loans when the world turns into a freezer? Exactly, nobody. So he goes all in, downloads every loan app he can find, starts stacking money from everywhere like a man building his villain origin fund. No hesitation. Just future me is not paying this back. Meanwhile, Hijuana is somewhere else throwing a silent tantrum because her backup option dared to walk past her like she doesn't exist. That hit her ego harder than the cold ever could. She's out here calling him a pathetic loser, complaining he doesn't even have a car, basically coping hard because things didn't go her way. And right on cue a car pulls up and honks at her. She looks over and yeah, it's Han Fong. Same guy she was just trash talking, now sitting in a car like he upgraded his life in 10 minutes. In some mood switch, he steps out, casually tells her he just bought the car, drops a line about his father making money overseas and sending him cash, and adds that he was busy taking his dad to the airport earlier. Clean, simple story, and it works. Her entire attitude flips immediately, because now in her head it's not rejection. It's, oh, he was just busy. She even apologizes for bothering him earlier, then switches into full performance mode, teary eyes, soft voice. Acting hurt, like she didn't just mentally roast him 5 minutes ago. Professional level acting. Honestly, Han Fong watches all that and plays along perfectly, calls her foolish, pulls her closer, tells her he wouldn't ignore someone as important as her, exactly what she wants to hear. And just like that, she's hooked again, thinking she's back in control. She starts suggesting going out, movies, dinner, building that same trap again, and right in the middle of it, he just dips, straight up, says he's busy, got too much stuff to carry back, and walks off like the conversation didn't matter. Timing is perfect, just enough bait, then gone. Now she's confused again, looking at all the stuff he bought, wonder what he's doing. And he just shrugs it off, say he bought it because he felt like it. Then he adds one more thing, tells her he got her a present, that's it. That one line is enough. She leaves happy, thinking she secured the deal, already imagining what she's getting. Meanwhile, Han Fong is walking away with the same kind of smile. Both of them think they're playing the other, but the difference is only one of them knows the future, and he's not sharing that advantage with anyone. When the world collapses again, when everything freezes over and people start turning into animals for survival, he's going to be sitting safe, while the same people who use him before start begging. And this time, he's not the nice guy anymore. He already decided. Huanan, the guy who killed him. Both of them are on the list. Revenge isn't a maybe, it's scheduled. Because in 2 weeks, everything changes. Heavy snow's going to fall across the planet. Temperature dropping to -20 at first, then sinking lower and lower over the next month until it hits -70. At that point, going outside isn't even an option anymore, it's suicide. The entire world gets buried in snow. And from that moment on, food isn't just important, it's everything. Han Fong brings everything back to his apartment and packs it tight, clean, and covered like a pro hoarder who doesn't want to look like one, making sure nothing screams. This guy is stockpiling for the end of the world. And for the risky stuff, the heavy or suspicious supplies, he schedules night runs so nobody sees anything. Because yeah, survival is one thing, but not getting robbed before the apocalypse even starts is another. He already knows power supply is going to collapse when things go south. So he doesn't gamble on that either. He secures fuel, and not just a little, a full year's worth, because if the grid dies, his backup better not. Heating is the next problem, because once the cold hits, normal systems won't keep up. So he brings a construction crew and has his place modified, reinforced, adjusted to survive what's coming, turning his apartment into something closer to a bunker than a home. And on top of that, he sets up a dedicated storage room. Organized, hidden, easy access. By the time all that is done, July 14th is already here. 1 day left before the world decides to freeze itself into hell. And with supplies checked off, the only thing left on his list is his ability. Because even he knows stacking food alone won't carry him forever. Not in a world where everything is trying to kill you slowly with cold. So he sits down with the same soybeans he used before. The ones his power turned into actual food. And now it's time for A. Proper test. Problem is, he still doesn't fully understand what triggers the ability. So this is half experiment, half gamble. He eats, waits, checks himself, and after going through half the plate with 0 side effects, no weird reaction, nothing going wrong. He confirms it. This food is safe, meaning he can produce and consume it without killing himself, which is already huge, but the main question still stands. What actually activates that glowing hand? So he moves on to testing, opens the fridge, looks for anything else he can try. Different vegetables, anything plant-based, because so far soybeans worked. But that's just one case. Time passes. Noon turns into evening, and next thing you know, he wakes up on the floor like his body just rage quit. Bro is holding broccoli in his hand. Kitchen looks like a vegetable war zone. Stuff scattered everywhere, and his brain is barely functioning because his own power drained him again. That's the trade-off. Use power, lose energy, he eats. More soybeans to recover, and then pieces together what just happened. Before passing out, he tested multiple plants, and the results weren't consistent at all. Some didn't react. Just normal items, useless. Some like seeds behaved like the soybeans and grew into full plants instantly. And then there's a third type. The ones that straight up detonated in his hand for no clear reason, no pattern, no warning, just boom. But even that mess gives him something useful. The stuff that exploded left, behind charred material, something like coal. And that's not trash, that's fuel. It can be stored and used later for heat, which in a -70 world is basically life itself. So even the failures are kind of wins. That realization hits, and now he's locked in, focusing harder, experimenting more, trying to control it instead of just triggering random results. But every attempt drains him, and eventually he crashes again, back in the present. He's sitting there trying to make sense of it. Some plants work, some don't, some explode, and the logic is all over the place. But from all that trial and error, one thing becomes clear. The trigger isn't just physical, it's mental. The ability is tied to his consciousness, so he switches approach. Instead of brute forcing it, he calms down, meditates, tries to connect his mind with the ability, imagines a whole becoming one with nature concept, syncing his thoughts with the power. And this time, it works. When he opens his eyes, the green glow is back, stable, controlled. Exactly what he was aiming for. That confirms it. The power responds to his mental state, not just random activation. So naturally, next test he tries on meat. Because if this works, bro upgrades his entire diet instantly. But nope, nothing, no reaction, no glow effect, just dead meat staying dead meat. He tries focusing, pushing it, basically begging the ability to do something, and still nothing. That's when reality hits him again. If this doesn't change, he's stuck living off plants. Then he remembers something from earlier during meditation. 2 colors, not just green but red too. So far he's only been using green, meaning there's still one part of his ability untouched. So this time he closes his eyes trying to reach that second side of his ability. And this time it actually responds. His hand lights up red. And the moment it touches the meat, the thing twists into a nasty spiky blob that barely even looks edible anymore. Immediate reaction. Disgust. He tosses it away like it offended him personally, then walks up again because, yeah, ugly or not, this is still data. He pokes it, grabs it again, checks carefully, trying to understand what just happened. At first glance, it looks cooked, which makes him think maybe the red glow is just heat. But the more he looks, the more that idea falls apart. This isn't cooking. It's the opposite. The structure is breaking down, like the meat is going backwards into decay. And just like that, it clicks. Green speeds things up, pushes growth forward. Red drags things backward, breaks them down into disintegration. Now that's a combo worth testing, so he doesn't waste time. He brings both hands together with the meat, green and red at the same time, and boom, a yellow flash hits. When it settles, the meat is no longer that small piece. It's a bigger fresh slab, bigger than before, clean, usable, but something's missing. The soybeans he had in his hand are gone, which means they didn't disappear. They merged, combined into the result. That's the trade. He checks the meat again. And yeah, it looks fresh, better than before, like it just came out of nowhere brand new. Now he's actually impressed. This isn't just survival anymore. This is control over resources. He tries again, aiming to repeat it cleanly, but this time it fails completely. Everything turns black. Result ruined, no control, no output. He slams his hands on the floor out of frustration because, yeah, one success doesn't mean mastery, but he stops himself from spiraling. There's time. He's already learned a lot in one day. Green grows, red breaks, yellow combines. That's more than enough progress for now. He just needs control. If he masters this, he's not just surviving, he's dominating. Then reality taps him again. Food is great, but food doesn't stop people. And in an apocalypse, people are worse than the cold. So now he needs a weapon, simple thought. But right as he's about to act, on it, he notices it. The snowfall has already started. Same as last time, heavy snow. Wrong season. July turning into winter overnight. That's the signal. The apocalypse has officially begun. But he doesn't stop. He knows once it hits -45. Moving outside becomes a death sentence. So if he's getting a weapon, it has to be now. Problem is, guns are illegal. So it's not like he can just walk into a store and pick one up while he's thinking. He notices a loudmouth nearby. Some broccoli. Haired clown yelling about how he's a younger brother of some big shot, using that typical I got connections nonsense to win an argument. Han Fong recognizes him instantly. Same neighborhood, same annoying behavior. People even gave him a nickname, Homeless Joe. A guy who pretends to be important, always talking about deals and projects, acting busy while doing absolutely nothing. The kind of guy who flexes imaginary success, useless most of the time. But maybe useful now. Han Fong approaches him, acts like they go way back, introduces himself as Xiao Han, plays into the guy's ego perfectly. And of course, Homeless Joe falls for it instantly, apologizing for not remembering because he's been so busy doing what nobody knows, not even him. But that's not the point. Han Fong pulls him aside, lowers his voice, and explains that he needs a gun, that it's Joe like a brick. Suddenly the act drops a bit. He's shocked, asking why the hell anyone would need that. He even tries to back off, warning that guns aren't a joke, they're illegal. And even with connections, it's risky business. For once the clown is thinking straight, Han Fong doesn't hesitate. He makes up a story on the spot, says it's self-defense, says he got into a fight with some guy who disrespected him, spat his face. So he beat him up in public and humiliated him. Now he's worried about retaliation, clean, believable enough. Nothing too complicated. He just needs Joe to think there's a reason, something worth the risk. And he leaves it there, letting the story sit, waiting to see if this fake big shot actually has the connections he keeps bragging about. So Han Fong finishes his little revenge-flavored backstory, explaining how the guy he beat came back with his whole squad the next day and absolutely folded him, turning him into a punching bag from head to toe. And yeah, after getting clowned like that, wanting a weapon suddenly makes perfect sense. Homeless Joe, instead of focusing on the actual point, locks onto the spitting part like it a national crime and starts acting morally outraged, saying that kind of disrespect deserves punishment, completely missing the bigger picture. But whatever, at least he's on board. The guy throws an arm around Han Fong like he's some big brother savior and promises to handle everything, saying he'll call his big brother and fix the situation. For once his fake confidence actually lines up with what Han Fong needs. So no complaints here. Joe suggests they take a ride, casually mentioning his own luxury cars and servicing, classic excuse. And Han Fong just goes along with it and shows him the car he brought. The moment they get in, Joe's eyes widen. Price check mode instantly activated, and when Han Fong drops the number 700,000, this clown immediately starts acting like he just unlocked a new social status. While they're driving, Joe is already taking photos like he owns the thing, posting it with captions like it's his ride. Zero shame. Full delusion. Meanwhile, they pull up to his so-called connections, where his big brother's group is just chilling around a fire, talking about how messed up the weather is. Han Fong stops the car. Joe hops out acting like he just pulled up in his own imported beast, and the other guys actually believe it for a second, asking if that SUV is his. And this man really doubles down and says, yeah, bought it with his own money, right in front of the actual owner. Bold isn't even the word anymore. Then comes the main event. Joe drags Han Fong inside to meet the boss. And yeah, the guy looks exactly like you'd expect. Tattoos everywhere. Face saying, don't waste my time. First reaction, he's already annoyed seeing Joe, basically telling him to get lost. But Joe pushes forward anyway and throws Han Fong under the spotlight, saying his friend wants to buy a gun. Now the boss actually pays attention, gives Han Fong that stare like he's sizing him up, and Han Fong is just standing there thinking, yeah, this could go wrong real fast. The boss isn't impressed, more annoyed that they came all this way for something as basic as a handgun. But still, he tells one of his guys to bring one. They toss it over. Price set at 6,000, simple deal. But Han Fong didn't come here for a toy. He looks at it and basically says, nah, this isn't it, asking for something bigger. Something with a scope. Straight up asks for a sniper rifle, like he's browsing an online store. The room goes quiet for a second because, yeah, that's not a casual request. The boss immediately checks him, reminding him he's not here to shop around like this is a mall, and that he's in no position to make demands. And right when things are about to turn messy, Homeless Joe jumps in again with another one of his ridiculous stories. This time talking about how Han Fong's wife cheated on him 3 times, turning the whole thing into some emotional drama. The boss actually eats it up, gets fired up on Han Fong's behalf, like he just watched a tragic movie. And somehow that nonsense flips the mood. In the end, the boss agrees, says he'll arrange the sniper, but it'll take a few days, and tells his guy Chong to also prepare semi-auto. On top of that, he tosses in the handgun for free, calling it a gift. That actually catches Han Fong off guard because, yeah, he didn't expect charity from a guy like this. He plays it right, shows gratitude, and then casually drops something valuable in return. He mentions that he's got connections with the government and warns him that the weather is only going to get worse. That supplies will run out soon, so they should stock up while they still can. This time he's not joking. His tone is serious and it lands. The boss actually listens and accepts the advice. And just like that, the deal wraps up clean. On the way back, Homeless Joe is hyping himself up like he just negotiated $1 million deal, talking about how he handled everything perfectly and how lucky it was that his brother was in a good mood today. Meanwhile, Han Fong just goes along with it, even offering to buy him cigarettes. Because honestly, for once, This walking cap actually delivers something useful. Homeless Joe starts off acting like some generous saint, nodding along like, yeah bro, I got you. But the moment Han Fong mentions a reward, this man's morals immediately evaporate, and he casually asks for 8 cartons of cigarettes like he's negotiating a business merger, instead of helping a guy with a broken leg. Priorities completely cooked. While Joe is busy calculating how many packs he can flex later, Han Fong is already mentally checking off his apocalypse list: food, fuel, weapons, base, everything lined up. Only thing left is mastering his ability and fixing the food situation. Then it's smooth sailing, or at least that's what he thought, because karma clearly said not today. Mid-walk, bro suddenly slips right in front of Joe and hits the ground hard, and this isn't some light fall either. His leg is instantly done, pain shooting through him while he's just sitting there trying to process how his perfectly planned life just got sabotaged by gravity. He hands over the car keys, telling Joe to drive them to hospital. Simple solution, except this genius quietly admits he doesn't even have a license. Of course he doesn't. So now instead of a smooth ride, it turns into a tragic buddy scene where Joe tries to support him like a broken shopping cart, and Han Fong immediately rejects that suffering and calls a taxi because he'd rather pay than experience whatever this is. Cut to the middle, chaos everywhere, snow getting worse outside, people flooding in, and right at the center of it is a head nurse, Jean Yen, running the night shift like she's carrying the whole building on her back. She's watching the snow pile up while getting called left and right because the place is understaffed. And meanwhile, Han Fong gets a confirmation. He didn't want fractured leg, 1 hour observation, meds after that, perfect timing. Man prepared for another world, but got countered by a slippery floor. Joe's still playing businessman. Dips out saying he's got deals to handle, leaving Han Fong alone with a busted leg and zero support. Classic. Now the hospital is packed, lines everywhere. People panicking because the weather is clearly not normal, and Han Fong is stuck waiting for meds like it's the last boss fight before discharge. That's when he spots Jean Yin working in the distance, moving between patients, checking pulses, handling everything like a pro. And yet bro gets distracted instantly, young, kind of efficient, and somehow still calm in this mess. No wonder everyone relies on her. Han Fong just stands there watching, already impressed, because after everything he's been through, this is a very different kind of presence. Then an old man calls her over, complaining about back pain, and she responds politely even though she's clearly overwhelmed, telling him it might take some time. But this guy isn't here for treatment. He's here being a creep, while she's focused on helping him. He sneaks a camera under her to take photos, and she doesn't even notice because she's actually doing her job properly. She promises to come back with an x-ray later. But this guy isn't done. He escalates and starts touching her, and she still thinks he's just a patient needing help. That's when things cross the line completely. And before he can continue, Han Fong launches his crutch straight into the guy's face. No warning, no hesitation. Just full send. The old man drops. The nurse gets startled, asking if he's okay. And Han Fong casually apologizes. Say he doesn't know how to use a crutch. You're right. While the guy is panicking, Han Fong grabs his phone, and the moment he sees a photo in the gallery, his expression changes completely. That comac drops instantly. He calls him out on the spot, exposes everything, and threatens to call security, saying it'd be better to lock him up than let him roam around doing this again. He doesn't hand the phone back either. Makes it clear that if this guy tries anything again, that photo is going public. The old man is stuck, can't argue, can't fight back, just forced to sit there after getting exposed like that. And for once someone actually shut him down before he could get away with it. The old man doesn't even try to argue anymore, he just bolts. Yeah, the same guy who was crying about back pain a second ago suddenly unlocks Olympic sprint mode and disappears out of the hospital like his spine just got factory reset. Even Jean Yen is standing there confused at how fast that injured patient recovered. Meanwhile, Han Fong is just looking at the situation like, some people really think the world runs on stupidity. He shows her the photo straight up, makes it clear what that creep was doing from the start, and hands her the phone so she can deal with it properly. Jean Yen is genuinely grateful, takes the phone, but then her brain catches up and she realizes, wait, wasn't his leg broken? And that's when reality hits Han Fong too. Adrenaline wears off, pain kicks in like a truck, and bro immediately starts yelling because, fractured leg plus hero moment equals consequences. A bit later, she patches him up properly, does her job clean, and now the pain is manageable again. She thanks him sincerely, promising she won't let anyone take advantage of her again. But while she's saying all that, his foot is literally pressed against her chest because of the way she's treating him, and Han Fong just quietly concludes, this girl is still way too naive for her own safety. Before anything else happens, She gets called again, runs off in a hurry like the overworked MVP she is, reminding him to come back in a week for a checkup. Han Fong just watches her leave and already knows that follow-up is never happening, because in 1 week, the world is cooked. He leaves with that thought sitting heavy in his head. Next day, things escalate fast. The weather goes from bad to worse. News everywhere. Temperatures dropping globally. And now even places like Dubai and Egypt are getting hit with heavy snow like the planet just forgot how geography works. Experts from dozens of countries rush into emergency meetings trying to explain it. And they go with the usual safe answer. Temporary phenomenon. Will pass soon. Stay indoors. Basically calm the public down before chaos starts. Han Fong hears all that and just mentally laughs it off because he already knows it's complete nonsense. Same lie he believed last time. Same setup before everything collapsed. Not this time, though. This time he's chilling in his modified room. Heater running. Supplies stacked. Fully prepared. Outside, the world is panicking. Inside, he's basically in premium survival mode. Meanwhile, the building group chat turns into a battlefield. Residents are losing it, complaining about the cold, saying they can't stay warm, demanding the property management fix the situation like they got control over the weather itself. And right in the middle of that chaos, one anonymous message drops the truth bomb. Ice Age apocalypse is coming. Snowstorm isn't random. It's something happening from within the earth that instantly catches Han Fong's attention. That's not normal knowledge. That's not something random people should know right now. His brain immediately flags this mystery person as a problem, because he was supposed to be the only one with this information. Now suddenly someone else is speaking like they've seen the same future. The chat keeps spiraling. Residents turn into an angry mob, blaming management for everything, threatening refunds, acting like snow is part of the maintenance package they paid for. Property management is panicking on the other side, apologizing nonstop at having zero solutions, because obviously they can't fight a blizzard. People aren't hearing it though. They just want someone to blame. Han Fong watches, all of it like background noise, already done with these pointless arguments. To him it's obvious. No one here understands what's coming. Then one guy, Zhang, steps in with actual common sense, telling everyone to calm down, saying they should help each other instead of making things worse, because natural disasters aren't something management can control. Finally, one person using their brain. But of course, not everyone likes that, because when panic hits, logic is usually the first thing that dies. These residents don't just disagree with Zhang. They straight up jump him for it, acting like he committed a crime for using common sense. Instead of calming down, they start calling him out like he's siding with management, when the guy is literally just saying arguing won't melt snow. Zhang keeps trying to explain he's not taking sides. He's just being realistic. But logic and panic don't mix. And this crowd clearly chose panic. Their only goal is simple: clear the snow so they can go shopping, because starving isn't part of their life plan. Zhang still tries one last time, pointing out that even if they clear the entrance, the roads outside won't magically be usable. So walking might be the only option, since clearing paths is way easier than clearing entire roads. Basically, the only guy thinking ahead gets treated like a villain. Han Fong watches all this and instantly recognizes the wise speaker vibe. And yeah, his expression says it all. This isn't their first time crossing paths, and it clearly didn't end well. Then another guy jumps into the chat. No speeches, no philosophy, just straight facts. If you want food, get outside and start clearing it yourself, because talking isn't going to fix anything. Drops the message and logs off like a boss. That blunt attitude actually works better than logic, because now people start moving. Another guy volunteers, and slowly more residents join in, even the ones who clearly don't look built for snow labor. Survival finally beats ego, and of course Ihuna shows up. Han Fong sees her name and already knows something's off, because her suddenly volunteering isn't charity, it's strategy. And yeah, exactly that. She steps in looking helpful, but it's just bait. The moment guys see her out there, they start stepping up, doing the heavy work, while she conveniently participates from a safe distance. Classic move, maximum benefit, minimum effort. Han Fong logs off with that exact expression of yeah, she's still the same. Because nothing about her has changed. Then she messages him, not because she cares, because she knows the old version of him would have folded instantly. She asks for food supplies, throwing a seductive picture to push her luck, try and play the same game again. Han Fong sees it, rates the effort mentally, but that's about it. Broken leg aside, even if he could move, he's not that guy anymore. So instead of playing along, he sends back a reply that hits her nerves directly, and it works. She's instantly irritated. The plan backfires, and for once she's the one annoyed. Quick recap hits. Third day since the blizzard started, temperature's already dropping hard, but it's still early stage. Heating still works. Internet's still alive. So people are distracting themselves instead of preparing. Han Fong. Same situation, physically stuck with a broken leg. Mentally bored out his mind, he's scrolling endlessly, trying to pass time. But even that gets old fast. He realizes real quick that isolation hits harder than expected, especially when you can't even move properly. Still, nothing else to do, so he keeps scrolling. Then something actually catches his attention. A news report about a guy with insane regeneration. Fell from the 15th floor, body completely wrecked, bones shattered, organs damaged, and yet he started healing on his own like nothing happened. That flips a switch in Han Fong's head. If abilities like that exist, maybe his can do more too. So he tries it, activates the green light, focuses on his broken leg, tries to heal it. Nothing. Tries again. Still nothing. Same result every time. The ability just doesn't respond the way he wants. So he gives up for now, slumps back, disappointed because for a moment he thought he found a shortcut. Hours pass. Scrolling continues. And eventually he drifts off to sleep. And then the dream hits. He's dressed in primitive clothes, riding a massive goat like it's completely normal, with an entire herd of goats flying alongside him. Not walking, flying. The whole scene looks ridiculous, but real at the same time. Like he's leading some kind of goat army. Everything is moving smoothly, until suddenly the goats stop mid-run, slam to a halt. And the one he's riding throws him straight off its back, ending the ride just like that, lands badly, and yeah, his already broken leg takes another hit, before he can even process it. One of those flying goats walks up and starts licking his injured leg. Now instead of feeling blessed, bro is just disgusted. Like, what kind of medical treatment is this? And he pushes the goat away. Big mistake. The goat gets offended, pulls out a tongue that has absolutely no business being that long, wraps it around his leg like a grappling hook, and yanks it upward. The moment that tongue makes contact, his leg starts healing instantly, like damage just got erased. That's when he snaps. Awake, sweating like he just survived a nightmare DLC, still trying to process what he just saw. He suddenly notices something. His leg is glowing green, not imagination, not leftover dream effects, actual energy, actively repairing the injury. He carefully unwraps the bandages, puts his foot down. No pain, zero. The same leg that was wrecked is now working fine. So yeah, that dream wasn't random. It triggered something. But the catch, it only worked while he was asleep. Now obviously curiosity kicks in. Instead of playing it safe, Han Fong grabs a knife and decides to test it the hard way, hands shaking and everything. But he still does it. Results pending. Meanwhile outside, the residents actually managed to do something useful for once. The mob that was arguing earlier is now out there clearing snow. And thanks to everyone pitching in, the path to the main gate is finally open. Credit goes to Jang for pushing the work together agenda, even if they roasted him earlier for it. He gives props to the old man who worked the hardest. The old man returns the praise to the twins, and everyone's playing nice for 5 minutes straight, rare moment. Then Jeanine shows up, trying to walk through the snow and immediately struggling. Because yeah, hospital shift plus snow terrain isn't a good combo. The twins step in, help her up, then go right back to work like actual decent humans. Jang notices the snowfall getting worse and tells everyone to hurry up, grab supplies, and get back fast before things escalate further. Right then the old man remembers something and hesitates, but Jang pushes him to speak. So he drops a rumor. Few days ago, someone in the building was seen bringing a truck full of supplies, acting like they were just moving in. Jang brushes it off at first. Sounds normal enough. But then comes a detail, gas tanks and a fireplace. That's not normal moving behavior. That's someone preparing for something big. Suddenly it doesn't sound so casual anymore. Before they can dig deeper, the twins return, and some random guy who was clearly eavesdropping jumps in. Curious as hell about this mysterious prepper. Instantly gets hit with a snowball by Jeanine for slacking instead of working. Jang steps in, shuts the chatter down, and tells everyone to move out since the path is clear. Jeanine's ready to head for supplies too, but the old man still isn't done. He asks Jang directly, what if that guy already knew the blizzard was coming? Jang pauses, then plays it safe, says the storm will pass soon. No need to panic. And even if it doesn't, having someone stocked up nearby might actually help everyone survive. Smart answer. Avoids panic. Keeps things neutral. The group moves toward the store, but the storm starts hitting harder, forcing everyone to speed up. And while all that is happening outside, Han Fong is inside his apartment, still passed out from earlier, completely unaware of the neighborhood turning into a survival squad. Then knock knock, he wakes up, hears a familiar voice, Opens the door and it's homeless Joe, holding the goods. Delivery successful. The boss kept his word. Joe explained that Brotherly handled it, since he already stocked up and doesn't need to run around like everyone else now. Basically, man secured his future early, and now he's chilling. Han Fong is actually grateful because coming out in this weather isn't exactly easy. But Joe didn't just bring weapons. He brought news. Apparently, rumors are spreading about something crazy. A supermarket in the Eastern District got completely wiped out overnight. Not looted halfway. Completely empty. When the gang cleared the snow and checked it, nothing was left. Not even scraps. Han Fong hears that and pauses. That's not normal. Clearing an entire supermarket in one night. That's not. Desperation. That's something else. Something calculated. And if it really happened the way Joe says, then someone out there is moving way ahead of everyone else. Maybe even ahead of him. Now, this is where things start getting real for Han Fong, because that supermarket incident doesn't sit right with him at all. Bro realizes something is off compared to his previous life. This isn't just Apocalypse 2.0 anymore. Something extra is cooking the background. And the worst part, he's not the only one with broken game mechanics anymore. For a second, he's deep in thought. Then Brotherly cuts in, gives him a simple warning, dress warm, don't be careless, and dips out. Straightforward guy, delivers goods, drops advice, leaves, door closes, silence hits. And now Han Fong finally gets to think properly. He runs through everything again, try and make sense of that overnight supermarket wipe. Only conclusion he lands on: someone with cheat code level ability, the kind you see in novels. Inventory space nonsense, infinite storage, pick everything up in vanish type. And once that thought clicks, the answer is obvious. If he has powers, someone else definitely can too. That realization hits different. Now it's not just survival, it's competition. No more wasting time. He immediately switches into testing mode, opens up his diary like a proper tryhard, and starts breaking down everything he knows about his abilities so far. Green light, red light, plant reaction, meat reaction, growth, duplication, heating, all noted. But the main issue, this ability is inconsistent as hell. It works until it doesn't. Soybeans are like a 10% success rate, meat even worse. Basically RNG gameplay with real consequences. And right on cue, the power decides to embarrass him again. He activates it on a soybean. Boom. Instead of a plant, he gets a nasty green cloud and a useless stinky rock in his hand. Not even a cool failure, just straight garbage. At this point, yeah, frustration is building. This ability is powerful but unreliable, and that's dangerous. So he locks in no shortcuts, no whining, just practice, hour after hour, testing, failing, repeating. Bro basically turns his apartment into a mini lab. By evening, he finally gets a win. A proper soybean plant, fresh, alive, pods and everything, clean success. But it wasn't easy. He's sweating like crazy, energy drained. But he finally cracked part of the system. And here's the key discovery. This ability isn't random. It's timing-based. The green energy isn't constant. Different items need different durations of exposure depending on their nutritional value. If you stop too early or go too long, you fail. And when you fail, you get that same burnt, useless rock. So basically, it's not just power, it's precision. And then it clicks for him. This isn't just power usage. It's like a rhythm game. You have to hit the exact timing window. Too slow, too fast. You lose. Perfect timing. Success. Up, down, left, right. Except instead of buttons, it's energy flow and control. Catch the right moment. Stop at the critical point, and boom, you get results. Now that he's got plans somewhat figured out, he moves on to meat, and instantly realizes this is a whole different level of pain. Same concept, but way harder. Mess up the timing even slightly. And instead of food, you get black sludge. Not even edible, just straight up cursed paste. Still, the principle should be the same. So he keeps trying and keeps failing. Chicken leg after chicken leg. Boom, gone. Explode, melt, turn into garbage, repeat, no progress. Just failure stacking up. The process is way more sensitive than plants. And every attempt drains him more. At this point, it's just a cycle of trying, failing, resetting, again, and eventually, yeah, his patience snaps. Han Fong is completely fed up, straight up yelling at his own ability like it personally betrayed him. Because this thing isn't just hard, it's disrespectfully hard. But quitting, not happening. Outside, the snow keeps getting worse. Temperature dropping like the world is trying to uninstall itself. And inside, this guy is still grinding like it's a ranked match he refuses to lose. The kitchen is already a disaster zone. Failed attempts everywhere. But he keeps going. One last chicken leg left. Last attempt energy. Now he's fully locked in red, green, timing, control, up, down, left, right. Like he's sweating over a rhythm game where one mistake sends you back to level 1. Every move matters, every second matters. And if he messes up, it's restart again. Tension its peak, hand steady, brain focused, and finally success. The chicken leg doesn't explode, doesn't turn into cursed sludge. It grows huge. Clean result. Hanfeng just lets out that exhausted yeah. Worth it type energy and drops to the floor, completely drained but satisfied. After all that suffering, he finally cracked meat synthesis. That's not just progress, that's survival secured on another level. Meanwhile outside, the world keeps spiraling. News reports roll in saying it's already the third day of the snow disaster, July 17th, and the entire country is getting hit the same way. They start throwing big words around. Once in thousands of years disaster, emergency measures, authorities doing their best, same script, different day. Hanfeng wakes up to like background noise because he's heard all this before. Promises about fixing electricity, restoring transport, humanitarian aid coming soon. Basically just wait a little longer. Propaganda. Then his phone starts blowing up, notifications stacking up like spam. Group chat is active again. And yeah, curiosity wins. He opens at chaos. Everyone argue about the news. Half of them still trusting the government. The other half already preparing for worst-case survival mode. And then one voice cuts through the noise. Old Uncle Lou. This guy isn't buying anything. Straight up calls out the lies. Says if things were under control, help would already be there. Instead, he drops something heavy. Rumors about the government gathering tanks, armored vehicles, heavy weapons in the capital. Not for rescue, for war. That word hits the chat like a bomb. Silence for a second, then panic explodes. People asking if it's true, if they're basically doomed if war is coming on top of everything else. Hanfeng just watches, interested. Because yeah, this lines up with fragments of what he remembers. This isn't just a natural disaster anymore. Then Zhang steps in again, trying to stabilize the situation. He says if there's even a chance this is real, they need to act now, not panic. Some residents are already running out of supplies, and with government help uncertain, they need to rely on themselves, his plan, organize, help each other, share resources. To prove he's serious, he puts half his own supplies on the table, not talk action. People start reacting. Some agree immediately, others hesitate. But momentum builds. One guy supports the idea and even drags Juan into it, probably trying to look good or get her attention. But Juana flips instantly, switches to her weak innocent mode, saying she doesn't have extra supplies, acting all helpless. And right on cue, her fan club jumps in to defend her, like she's the victim. Same pattern, different day. That little drama almost derails the whole plan, but eventually, people start contributing anyway. Food, clothes, medicine, stuff starts piling in. Zhang thanks everyone, keeps it moving, and realizes they need structure, not chaos. Too many people, too many resources. So he suggests assigning certain residents to manage everything properly. So just like last time, Zhang smoothly puts himself at the top of this so-called emergency committee, acting like the savior of the building while setting up the perfect system to control who eats and who starves. Hanfeng reads that announcement and immediately smirks. Because yeah, he's seen this movie before. Same script, same fake hero energy, same ending. People getting robbed politely in the name of distribution. Fast forward, July 19th, fifth day of the apocalypse, and now the temperature has dropped to a clean minus 40. Not cold, disrespectfully cold. This is a day central heating. Finally gives up and dies. And suddenly everyone realizes they were living life on easy mode till yesterday. Now it's survival DLC. People start panicking, trying anything, tiny fires, random setups, just to not freeze inside their own homes. And yeah, just like before, it's only getting worse from here. Meanwhile, Hanfeng, living like a final boss, failed experiments turned into charcoal fuel, fireplace running perfectly, table stacked with cola and strawberry cake, like it's a normal evening. And this guy is chilling playing single-player games while the outside world is getting deleted. Priorities, perfectly aligned, of course. Peace doesn't last. Phone rings. Some block leader on the other end, talking about we're clearing the roads in 20 minutes, need manpower in the basement. Bro really thinks this is a snow day, not an extinction event. Hanfeng almost roasts him on the spot, but holds back. No point making enemies yet. Low profile matters more than ego right now. So he sighs, gets up, and heads down. First look at the entrance, and yeah, reality check hits everyone at once. The snow didn't just pile up. It sealed them in. Everything they cleared before, gone, completely erased. Like it never existed. Volunteers are already pissed, but still stubborn enough to try open the door. They call Hanfeng over. Everyone stacks up, pushes together, and the moment that door cracks open, the storm doesn't knock. It invades. Snow floods like it owns the place. wind slicing. Through them, visibility gone, breathing feels illegal. Step outside, and you're basically signing your own death certificate. Han Fong instantly regrets leaving his couch. This isn't go outside and help. This is go outside and disappear. Even the others finally get it. No hero complex survives that kind of cold. And right on cue, the king of bad decisions shows up. Brotherly, aka Homeless Joe. Man walks in like he's about to solo the blizzard. Starts calling everyone cowards, talking big like. The storm is just a minor inconvenience. Meanwhile, everyone else is shivering, trying to explain basic survival logic to this guy. But nah, logic isn't invited today. He finishes his cigarette like it's his power-up, then charges straight into the snow like some low-budget anime protagonist. Starts punching the snow, yelling, acting like he's unlocking some hidden ability. For a moment, dude actually digs a human size hole, and then silence. Next thing you hear, muffled cries for help from under. The snow. Yeah, reality hit him harder than the storm did. They drag him out, face purple, body half frozen, looking like the boss fight ended before phase 1 even started. That's when everyone finally accepts it. This isn't something you brute force. Door gets shut immediately. No more hero plans. Han Fong walks over, checks on Brotherly, not because he respects him, but because dead idiots bring trouble. Then he tells everyone to move to the basement car park, find whoever's in charge, and figure things out there. No point standing at the gate arguing with a blizzard that doesn't care. They head down, and compared outside, the underground parking actually feels like a luxury zone. Not warm, but at least it's survivable. Above ground is hell. Down here, just a waiting room before things get worse. Down in the basement, Mr. Jang is already in his natural habitat. Center of the crowd, calm face, soft voice, looking like the kind of guy people trust way too easily. Reports come in from the lobby, and he immediately decides the snow clearing operation is off for now. And just like that, he redirects everything toward the basement car park, turning it into the official donation and collection point. Smooth move, too smooth? Han Fong stays in the back, quiet, just watching. Because first time seeing this guy in person, but he already knows exactly what kind of leader he is. Polite voice, kind face, and a brain that's already calculating other people's supplies like it's his inventory. Jang starts praising everyone, talking about how generous the residents are, how these donations will save lives, how unity is their strength, and the crowd eats it up. People are smiling, feeling good about themselves, thinking they're building some kind of survival community. Meanwhile, Han Fong's just standing there like, keep smiling. You'll regret that donation real soon. Because unlike them, he's already seen how this Unity arc ends. Brotherly, still shaking from his failed main character moment earlier, decides he's had enough of the day and dips out after saying goodbye. And that's when Han Fong notices her, the same nurse in the hospital, Jin Yen Su, standing out instantly, not because she's trying, but because she's just naturally noticeable, cute winter onesie, carrying a stack of boxes way too big for her, walking like she's one bad step away from disaster. And of course, disaster shows up on schedule. She bumps into a few guys, loses balance, and just when gravity is about to claim another victim, Han Fong steps in and catches her clean. Perfect timing. He asks if she's okay. She opens her eyes, thanks him, and then recognizes him. Now it clicks. Hospital guy, broken leg guy, which immediately turns into confusion. Because last time she saw him, he wasn't exactly in catching people mid-fall condition. Han Fong's brain starts buffering. He stumbles through an explanation about fast recovery since childhood, weakest excuse in history. But lucky for him, she's not built for suspicion. She just accepted like, wow, that's amazing. No further questions asked. Pure innocence, zero detection system. He offers to carry her boxes. She hesitates, says they're heavy. But he insists, because obviously he's not about to let that moment go. She finally hands him over, and instantly, reality punches him. These boxes are heavy, not normal heavy. Suspiciously heavy. He asks what inside, and she explains they're medical supplies she's donating. Even admits they might be too much for one person. And now he's stuck holding them, but bro's not complaining. Give him double the weight. He's still walking straight, if it's for her. Meanwhile, she keeps reminding him not to push himself too hard, saying she's actually pretty strong herself. When he asks about it, she gets a bit guarded, drops a vague line about there being a reason, something that happened recently, then immediately backs off, apologizing like she said too much. That little slip? Han Fong clocks it instantly. They keep walking, talking, and she finally asks his name. He introduces himself. She smiles and gives hers. Jin Yen Shu. And that smile hits hard in the cold outside. For a second, bro is just gone, completely distracted. But then comes a follow-up question. What does he do? And he answers honestly. Unemployed? Yeah, perfect timing to fumble. Before the moment can fully die, some impatient dude barges through, bumps into her, and she loses balance again, this time falling straight onto Han Fong. No saving pose, no heroic catch, just full contact. She grabs onto him to stabilize, and yeah, her body presses right into his arm. Bro freezes, completely still, brain off. Moment on. She immediately pulls back, apologizing, flustered, while he tries to respond like a normal human being. But let's be honest, he's still processing what just happened. That moment could have actually stayed clean, smooth intro, decent chemistry, maybe even a normal human interaction for once. But nah, disaster arrives right on cue, and her name is Huyana. Looking half dead from hunger and cold, she drags herself in like a walking red flag with frostbite, and the first thing she does, latch onto Han Fong like she found her personal food supply again, straight up pressing herself against his arm, asking who the pink-haired girl is, like she just caught him cheating in a relationship that never existed. June instantly senses the awkward energy spike and nopes out the situation. She grabs the boxes back, says she just needs to log the supplies, and dips toward the donation area, and just like that, Han Fong watches a perfectly decent interaction walk away while this parasite clings onto him again. He asks what she's even doing here, and she spins it instantly. Came for supplies, was worried about him. Notice he's been quiet. Bro scratches his head, plays along, says he was about to message her. She calls him out immediately, saying he looked pretty busy chatting with someone else. Then comes the real goal. Asks if he has extra food, says she's almost out classic, straight to business. And here's where Han Fong doesn't get mad. He smiles, because now he's the one playing. He tells her he doesn't have much either, but he could share, just not with people who ignore his messages. Then he steps closer, grabs her waist, and casually asks if she's willing to come stay with him for a few days. Smooth delivery, but with a trap built in that caught her off guard. For a second, she actually loses her composure, then immediately resets, pushes him away, and switches back to her acting mode. Soft smile, controlled voice, says if he wants to talk, they can. Just do it online. Clean rejection, wrapped nicely. Han Fong doesn't push it, turns around like he's done, starts walking off. That's when desperation kicks in. She grabs him, stops him, starts talking about how he's changed, how she's always been serious, how she doesn't want people thinking she's using him for money. So she just needs time, full performance, puppy eyes included. And yeah, if this was his first life, he folds instantly. But this time, he's just watching the act because he's already died once to the same script. Now he's not here to believe it. He's here to expose it. He thinks it through fast. No need to go hunting for her boyfriend. Last time she brought the guy to him herself. So this time he'll just let history repeat, but with better preparation. Back then it was a steel bat. Now he's got something way more convincing waiting. So instead of blowing things up, he backs off, laughs it off, says he was just joking. Now she's the one feeling awkward, thinking she overacted for nothing. He tells her he'll wait for her message and bring food tomorrow. Clean exit. Both of them smiling, both of them lying. She walks away with that same ugly smirk creeping back onto her face, thinking she's still in control. What she doesn't realize this time, she's the one getting played, and Han Fong, he enjoys it. Quietly. 2 days pass, no message from him. Instead, her phone turns into a complaint factory, angry text, frustration, asking where her food is. Meanwhile, this guy is sitting comfortably, eating a hot steak with a drink like it's a normal dinner night, just watching her messages stack up. Honestly, nothing is better than eating good food while watching someone who killed you in your past life slowly lose patience. And yeah, that food, that's not normal anymore. He finally figured out the method to produce actually good meat, not just edible, proper, satisfying food, while